Hello everyone, it's Christine here and I'm back for our stitch along and we are going to be doing oyster stitch. So I've used some of my lovely Razzle thread from Wonderful to stitch out just in back stitch the name Oyster, and then this is the stitch we're going to be doing. So I'm using a nice large crochet or knitting cotton, and I've done one oyster stitch here and I'm thinking I'll make them into a little flower. So I think I'll do my second oyster stitch about here. So I'm going to pop through from the back with a knot tied at the end, or in this case I'm just continuing along, and then I'm going to take my needle back in just slightly to the left and just slightly below where the thread is, if I lay it sort of flat down, and then I'm going to take my needle back out on a sort of diagonal, I guess you'd say. And I'm going to pull it through with the thread under the tip so that we get a twisted chain stitch, essentially is what we're doing first of all here. And then I like to keep my finger on it just to keep it stable while I then pass my needle through the loop at the top. And you're going to just pull that through and you're going to let that thread just lie down along that side of it. And then the next thing you're going to do is bring your needle back in within this upper loop next to the twist of the twisted chain, and then you're going to bring your needle out at the very base, and you're going to keep your thread underneath the needle, and you're going to pull the needle through and let the thread wrap around and make the little oyster, or petal in this case. And then you'll take your needle to the back, and we'll do a few more together just because it does have a few elements in this stitch, so I'll let you get the hang of it. So I might do my next one coming out from about here, so popping out from the back with your thread anchored at the back. Then I like to hold mine just down in a little line pointing where I want to go. I bring my needle in just slightly to the left of the thread and just take it angled across the distance that you want your petal or your oyster to be. I probably want it just a smidge more. You bring your needle out with your thread underneath so that you get that loop and you get that twisted chain stitch. So you've then got it laying like that. And then I like to hold on to mine and to then just take my needle underneath the thread. You're not piercing the fabric at all here. You're just passing your thread through that little loop at the top and just letting your thread naturally lie down on the fabric. If you pull too much, you might find it all sort of goes a bit scrubbly, and you might just need to unwind and start again if that happens. And then we want to take our needle back into the fabric just inside this sort of upper loopy area next to where the twist is, and bring our needle out at the bottom of it. And then we just want to gently pull and let our thread wrap around our oyster. And then we take it to the back to anchor that down, and then we can continue our way around and do a few more. So popping out, laying down the line in the sort of direction I want it to go, bringing my needle just slightly to the left and angling it slightly to the right with the thread underneath, pulling the needle and thread through, and then holding on to that and just passing the needle through that upper loop and pulling so that the thread just lays itself down there. And then coming in through that upper loop and bringing the needle down to the bottom of your oyster and keeping the thread again under the tip of the needle and pulling through and letting your thread rest down and form the petal or oyster. And then we'll do one final petal, and then I think we can do some French knots in the centre to make our shape. So again, just angling down on a slight angle, a tiny bit longer, pulling through, getting your twisted loop. Oops. And then just passing through. That one I've put a bit closer, so I've just got to get it through between the two bits of thread, which almost didn't space as much from the top. I might just redo that one actually, because I just made it a tiny bit hard for myself by going too close at the top. Okay, so you do want to have that little bit of a gap left at the top so that you can actually easily bring your needle through. So I'll actually start, because I did want it to come a bit more from the center. So leave that little bit of a gap at the top. So just indent back down a bit and then angle across a little distance. Do your stitch, and see here now I've got enough room at the top to pass my needle through. And then we're going to go into that little loop and bring needle out and pop it out at the bottom and let the thread wrap around and lay down and encase the shape. Sorry, I hope I didn't just go off camera there. I think I did. And then let's do some French knots in the center. Got some yellow. Just having a look what I've got. Oh, this is a nice big yellow, which could be handy. I think it's got a label. It's a crochet cotton 2-ply satin. So we'll do a few French knots, I think, in the middle to make our centre. I always think yellow and purple look so good together. That's why irises look so lovely. Again, this would be great for the current Roxy prompt of botanical. Might have to add an oyster flower to my my piece. Squeeze one more in over here. There we go. That is our beautiful oyster flower. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we will be back tomorrow for Palestrina stitch, which I think we might have done a version of by a different name, which is like a Smyrna stitch, it's also known as well as double knot stitch and tied coral stitch. I think we did it when we did our coral stitch variations. So I'll see you tomorrow for that. Take care, everyone. I hope you're having a good day, good evening, or a good afternoon. Bye.